Hello, welcome back. Today we want to take a look at input fields. So what exactly are input fields? These are fields that allows users to input data into a UI. Example are text input fields. We also have radio buttons and we have date pickers, even input fields that allows us to upload files or select colors and as well buttons and range. But in today's class, I want to specifically talk about text input fields, which allows users to enter text into a UI and they typically appear in form and dialogues. Basically, you want to have four states for your text input fields. These are default and also focused when a user clicks on that particular field. We have error states, which sends back a visual cue to let the user know, okay, there is an error, okay? And also the disabled state. After that, let's take a look at the text input field anatomy. So we have basically 6 components that makes up the text input field, where 3 is optional. But the main one is the container, the leading icon, label, placeholder, trailing icon, and helper. Let's go in depth and see what these things mean. The container. So the size of the text input container should be proportional to the expected user input. This means that you have to make sure that the container you're creating for that text input should be able to, contain the expected text. If you're asking someone for their first name, you should at least provide at least not less than 15 characters, not more than 15 characters per se, okay? And also, when you're asking for zip codes, you should also maybe try minimizing it and not making the container full width, okay? So this will also help the user to know exactly what you are expecting. Then we have the leading icon, which is also optional, but it helps create better user experience by introducing a relevant icon next to the input box, like where you have the user icon close to the name, okay? The next thing, which is very important, is the label. Label text is used to inform users as to what information is required for a text field. Every text field should have a label. Every text field should have a label. So if you have a text field which is name, make sure there is a label there indicating that this text field is for name, not to mistake them for placeholders. So placeholders or input text. A placeholder is the text that users see before they interact with the field. Input text is the text the user has entered into the text. So sometimes you see a form field where you have maybe name, and then inside input text, you have something like your name. So your name is simply providing a visual cue for the user. So they know that, okay, right here, I'm supposed to enter my name, okay? The next thing is the trailing icon. So the trailing icon is a small icon that has great power. It can help reduce the interaction cost, e.g. clear trailing icon. Show this icon to help users erase text in the field in one tap. And also the last thing we have there, the helper text or error text, which are also optional. Helper text acts as an assistive element. It provides additional information about the input field, such as how the information that the user provide will be used, requirement for the information. Example, password setting guidelines. So without further ado, let's head into Figma and design some input fields. Okay, welcome back. So right now we're going to try to design this, okay? So as you can see, right here, I have a simple form, and right here I have some input fields, okay? Right here, you can see that I've provided a label here, which is what? Name, right? And also I've provided a placeholder right here, which says your name. And when the user starts typing in their name, this your name is expected to disappear. It goes away while the user's input appears. And next, I have another one there, email. And last, I have a button there that the user can click on to submit this particular form. So let's take a look at how to build this. So I'm going to start with the label. So I pick my text tool. I want to type in name, okay? So with name, I want to make it size 22 and kind of make it bold, okay? I want to make it bold, and there you have it. The next thing, I want to either duplicate, or let me just go ahead and type again. And I'm going to call this your name. So this represents my placeholder or my input text, right? So I want to go ahead and format this to size 18. So remember, you're going to use the desired size you want your users to type in. So in this case, I want to use size 18. And no, I don't want it bold. Let me just go with medium. And I want to also make the color a little bit fainted. Okay. So a little bit fainted, something just right there. Awesome. Okay. The next thing I want to do now is to convert this to an auto layout. Okay, so I'm just going to do Shift A. So I can name this, instead of frame 15 here, I can just go ahead and name this input. Let's say user input, or we can call it placeholder, or user input / placeholder. Okay. Once I'm done, I just want to go ahead and increase this. Okay, I want to increase this maybe somewhere around let's say 450. Okay, then I also want to bring this a little bit down. The next thing after this, I want to add my container. Okay, the container for the text. So I'm going to go ahead again and do Shift A to add another container to this. So I'm going to call this field container. Okay, so once I have this field container will go ahead to have my styling. So you can decide to use lines, you can decide to also color the inside of the text. It all depends on your brand or the style you want to follow. But for now, I want us to design exactly what we have on this other side. So I'm going to go ahead for this field container. I want to go ahead and add a color. And I want to use the same color. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick it. And that is F3, F4, F6. The next thing I want to do for that container is to add a stroke. For the direction, I want to use outside. And for this, I want to go ahead and use 2. Or should I? Okay, let's just do 1. Okay. And for the color, I'm just going to pick this color right here. Okay. Okay, I think I've picked it. Let me be sure I picked the right color. Okay. Okay, and I'm just going to add a border radius of 10. So this is what we have here. Okay, it's not showing, the outline isn't showing, so I'm just going to, okay, I think I mistakenly picked the same color. So let me just use something something right there. Okay, AD. So now I have the container, I have the label text and text holder. Make this remember to make this field container. Okay, and after that, I'm just going to select these 2. Okay, select these 2 and then Shift A to add them in an auto layout. Shift A in an auto layout, and I can now call it input field. Input field. Okay, let me just call it text. Okay, text input field. With this, I'm done. But next, one thing I want to do now is to probably bring it a little bit closer. Let's do 12. Okay, so it's a little bit closer and not disjointed. Once you've done this, the next thing you want to go ahead to do is now to convert this to a component. So you can always reuse it in your design. So to do that, already just click on this create component or Control Alternate K. So once this is done, I'm going to go ahead and move this into my components page. So I'm going to use move to and components. Then I move to my assets and I want to pick it. That's the text input field. Drag it out right there. Okay, so I have one which is name. I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this and change this to email. Okay, and then right here I'm going to type in your email. Okay, and I'm going to pick our text link as usual, and then for our button, and I'll say send me a copy. Okay, what we have there is send me my copy. Okay, a little bit more personalized there. And I want to go ahead and make this maybe a little bit there, like 30. Okay, up, down 30. And then here as well, 30. Okay, and then I just want to go ahead and give it a color, a bluish, nice bluish color there. Okay, this is it. And select my text, make it white and bold. Okay, white and bold. Then for the corners, we use 10, so I'm just going to go ahead and make it 10. The next I want to do is to select everything and add them in an auto layout, Shift A. So this forms the basis for our form. So for this, I'm just going to call it form, maybe offer form. Okay, offer form. So from here, what you want to do is to go ahead and design this. So I'm just going to give it a color of white, and I want to increase the padding around, let's say 40. Okay, and then top and bottom, let's use 60. Okay, so we have it there, offer form. And I want to go ahead now and make the corner a little bit rounded. Let's use 10. So we have that little corner over there. The next thing I want to do, you can see this send me a copy. You can leave it like this, it's also fine, but I want to make sure I use fill the width of the main form container. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and select this, and instead of hog, I want to use fill container. I want to select this. Instead of hog, I want to use what, fill container, and also select this, and instead of hog, I want to use fill container. So fill, and I also want to make it center. Okay, so I think the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and make here 48 the spacing, so it's a little bit less disjointed. So right here I have it, and this is how you can design forms in Figma.